Okay, this is sort of a day 4 supplemental, sort of a report on the boogeyman. Um, I was actually able to reduce it by about 50% strength, which was sort of good and not good. But it is good because that relentless pressure is very tough to deal with psychologically. Um, because when you're staring down at 4 hours or 3.5 hours, it's a long time to deal with that constant pressure. You take a brief rest and you're nodding, you're out. I mean, you could sleep for an hour just sitting there and not even know it. Um, so it's a lot of pressure to deal with. And in the past, in fact, at my day 14, I just got fed up and stopped. Because I figured, gosh, I had every sign of adapting, and now I still have this boogeyman that's like on me so strong. Okay, um, and once again, the person that really helped me out with that is Matthew Armstrong. If you haven't seen his blog, uh, video log, he's got a lot of other stuff that he does, right? But all I've done is watched his video log. Okay, and if you look in there, he defeated the boogeyman, that same boogeyman that I'm dealing with. Um, and it occurred late in his adaptation as well. Um, yeah, he had struggles beyond day 14 with that, and he overcame it. Um, so that's what I have to do. But the reason I mentioned his name and all that, I mean, is because I actually used a technique that he suggests, and because he says go outside and walk. I used to just go outside, stretch, whatever, and go back in. Um, but you go back outside, it's going to be colder outside usually. I mean, if it's it's going to be colder. I mean, unless you have air conditioning and it's in the dead of summer, which I haven't experienced that yet, so I don't really know. But generally speaking, especially if it's nighttime, it's going to be colder out and it's going to be refreshing. In my case, it was in the middle of the afternoon, or the middle of the afternoon, and it was sort of chilly. We're moving into winter now, so but it was sort of chilly, and I just walked around the block, and I actually enjoyed it, looking at the sky, looking at the foliage and everything that was around, and ran into a guy with his dog and a bike that was really entertaining. The dog, was not on a leash, so he was just, roaming free, but yeah, while following the guy on the bike, and it was kind of funny. So you get into these different mindsets, and as I'm sitting there walking, there's no boogeyman at all, and your mind is free. Um, that can't be overemphasized because freedom for your mind is such a relief when you have the boogeyman after you. And that's the thing about the boogeyman when you're looking at staring down at over 3 hours of having to deal with that, it's very disheartening. It's very tough to deal with. It's easy to feel hopeless. It really is, and it's easy to want to give up. Uh, a form of giving up is taking a supplemental nap. And some people have advocated that, but I don't think it works. And I'm not a fan of the guy that says, listen to your body. I'm not, no, no. I don't think that applies to Uberman. I mean, it might work with spam mail or whatever they call that, or the everyman. When you have more flexibility and you can, listen to your body and adjust that way, and that's fine on those sleep schedules because there is built-in flexibility. And the guy that did it for 5.5 months, I just haven't remembered his name, but everybody knows who I'm talking about. That with the massive blog and everything. He uh, he showed that there is flexibility within Uberman. In other words, you don't have to be totally on the exact time. Like if you have a social engagement and such, and you go a little bit over on the time and whatnot, you can uh, sleep late and then like go to sleep uh, after your normal sleep schedule. You can almost skip an entire sleep, like an entire 4 hour stretch. You can almost skip an entire one, um, and still have be adapted as you move forward. But there's a limit. He was talking about there's a limit because once you miss an entire sleep schedule or something, once you go like 5 hours without sleep, you start crashing pretty bad. You can't. There's not a lot of. You don't have that much leeway like over an entire sleep period. Once you pass one complete sleep period, you're likely to start crashing, and that can have a negative effect because it can be difficult to wake up after just 20 minutes. I think that's where he had one of his problems or something. But I don't know. He basically demonstrated that you have leeway, and it's not going to destroy. You're not just like going to be destroyed because you missed your sleep time by a couple of hours or something. And so anyway, back to the point. That freedom for your mind when you're out walking is incredible because all that pressure is gone, gone, gone. And for as long as you're walking out in the air and enjoying life out there, um, it feels great. So that is a huge benefit, and definitely have. I mean, for me, I definitely have to thank Matthew Armstrong for mentioning that because he mentions it over and over again. That's what one of his strategies is to get out and walk late at night because that was his tough time late at night. He even tells a story about that. If you guys know, the story about the water system that was like burst when he was out there. Pretty amazing. Okay, so that's the reason for this supplemental. I mean, I'm still in day 4, um, and I don't know, halfway through day 4, I guess. Yeah, about halfway through, and hey, I feel great. Um, so Boogeyman's gone, and that's nice. Um, yep. However, upon waking up for this sleep cycle, which was the 7 o'clock sleep cycle. That's when I go to sleep at 7. I didn't wake up to the alarm immediately. Um, so that's pretty. That's the first time that's happened so far. Like when I woke up, the alarm had already gone through one cycle of at least one cycle of air raid. One air raid cycle at least, and I had what was unmoved. What woke me up is um, I guess I'll just say my roommate or whatever. That's fine. So my roommate actually knocked on the door because that siren is really loud, and their knock on the door is what woke me up. Not liking that. Not liking that at all. Dang. Just the question is, how long can I sleep with an air raid siren going? You know. And once again, this is the boogeyman attempting to, because he didn't on the way to sleep, even though I reduced the strength by 50%, the boogeyman was still there, but just like way weaker. And that's a little more dangerous because when the boogeyman's a little bit weaker, you're a little more free to be lazy about it. You can just sort of fight off the nods. You don't have to get up and wash your face. You don't have to get up and go outside and breathe. You don't have to do any of those things because it's weak. It's a weak boogeyman, and that's a little more, maybe even a little more dangerous because of that. So, I hope that is just a minor bump in the road and doesn't turn into something big. Because I wonder what I need to do with an alarm if this air raid siren isn't going to work. That's going to be pretty serious. But I'm feeling pretty good. Day 4. And if there's anything that occurs between this and ouch, That was a screensaver again. If anything occurs between this and day 5, I'll make another day 4 post. Otherwise, this will suffice for my day 4 post because it would be nothing eventful for the rest of day 4, and I got a good point out there. So, uh, keep you guys updated.